Hey up, Rock God 2004 back with another video for you. I've been getting asked by just a couple of people if I'm going to do any more reviews because I haven't done them for a while. So I know I've finally got 10 minutes. I'm looking up there. In a minute, I'll tell you. I'll give you a quick review. I won't really go into the story or anything much. I'll just tell you what I think of them and stuff like that. I'll go through a kind of few films that I've watched during the last sort of month or two because I haven't reviewed anything for ages. I'm looking up there because there's a dirty, great, big, fucking humongous spider. It's been up there now for God knows. I've been trying to get this started for about half hour, 3/4 of an hour, and I don't move. Yeah, I have my glasses on. I've seen it run past, and it's gone to the length of the settee there, and there's a pile of my stuff there, and I was like, so I'm kicking my stuff, nothing there, and I was like, it's gone under the couch. So I'm sat there and just having a look up, and there it was on the wall. It's like that. And now it's gone in the corner. You know, you see these girly red roses sometimes when I'm over there on the other side. It's on one of them, so it's hid. Try to take a decent photo, and I can't get one because it's on the dark flower. And it keeps going on the ceiling and going back on the flower. And it'll move a little bit left and move a little bit right. I just want it there so I can introduce it to me fucking foot. I am terrified of these things. Anyway. So if I keep looking up there, you know what it is. Right, the first one I want to mention was one of the ones that Carlos bought me. And it was the Rutger Hauer film, Blind Fury. I've watched it. Laura's put it away somewhere and she can't remember where she's put it. So I can't go, it's this one. But I did show you in the meetup video the case. I'd never seen the film before, so put it on, and I swear to God, I had such a blast with it. What a cracking film, so entertaining. It kind of starts where I think he's, from what I remember, I think he's in some war, he's fighting in some war. It kind of looks like Vietnamese type of thing. And the next thing you see is like, it looks like the enemy who he's fighting, they find him on his own and rescue him, bring him back to health. And he's lost his sight. So you see this family who he's staying with, like training him up, like how to fight. So he's listening for things and using the sword and stuff like that. And then it comes back, like sort of 20 odd years later or whatever it is, to modern day. And yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with because he helps people. That's all I'm going to say. Most of you have probably seen it, but my God, what a cracking film. Blind Fury, that is. I would probably give it a solid 7 out of 10. Very, very enjoyable. I loved it. The next one, these are in no particular order. This is a Treasured Films release, and it's a Universal film, The Island. I've talked about this before, and I did show this in a video when I got it. I love this film so much. It is so underrated. I'm trying to think, like, can I really say anything without spoiling it? If you've seen the trailer, it's probably give you a few spoilers anyway. It's basically Michael Caine. He's kind of an absent dad, and he's got a son. And he keeps cancelling on him because he's like a reporter. And, you know, it's a bit like Dr. Chalice in Halloween 3, where he's always promising to go to the kids and something always seems to pop up. It's kind of like that. And he gets this case to go to this island because people keep vanishing. And it's his turn to have his son. So he promises his son that he's going to take him to Disneyland, and he doesn't. He goes, oh, we're going on a boat, you'll have much more of an adventure. Yeah, that was a big mistake. The opening first, not even 5 minutes, there's like a brutal death scene, and I don't know why that this got downgraded from an 18 to a 15. Yeah, it's not overly graphic, but even so, it shocked me because I couldn't remember it being that brutal, to be honest. It's got a hell of a cast as well. So they basically run into this group of people who turn out to be like modern day pirates. and they split him and his father up, and you don't know what's happened, like, to one of them. It's kind of like a cross between a slasher film and The Blue Lagoon. That's the best way to describe it. But this is so entertaining. It's based on the book by Peter Benchley, who also wrote The Deep and Jaws. But this is just so different. I've still never seen a film like this, really, to be honest. I've seen mixed reviews, but I've always loved this. I can't remember whether I seen it on the telly or whether we rented it out, and then I actually had it on an old Laserdisc when I had a Laserdisc player. But when this Blu-ray came out and I watched it, I had actually forgot how good it was. It's got Michael Caine in it. It's got David Warner in it. There's another famous actor. I can never remember his name. It's Michael something. I knew I should have put my gigs on. Oh, there they are. See if I can remember his name. He does one of the voices in Watership Down. It doesn't say any. It just gives Michael Caine and David Warner. Typical. Does it give it in the description? No. But he's one of those actors. Is it Michael? Not Michael Gambon. It's Michael something, I'm sure. Anyway, you'll know him when you see him. But this takes like a very dark turn. Cracking film. Highly recommended. You can still get this as well. If you order it direct from Treasured Films, you do get a free poster. And there is some fridge magnets as well if they haven't run out. And it's free postage. So that is The Island from 1980. Cracking film. Next one up is another Treasured Films release. And this one is You Might Be the Killer, starring Alison Hannigan. This is just dozy. It's such a good film. It's really good fun. It doesn't take itself seriously. There's a fucking spider gone. It's still up there. It is a slasher film, and it's quite brutal in parts, but it's just so tongue-in-cheek, it's ridiculous. Alison Hannigan's really good in it. How can I describe this film? It starts off with this lad covered in blood running and screaming. It's like he's being attacked. And then it turns out that this is Alison Hannigan's friend, and he rings her. She works in this shop, like a video shop. And he's going like, somebody's coming to kill me. I don't know who they are and all this. He's killed everybody and I'm the last one. And he's got this mask. And it's kind of like the Jim Carrey mask. But if you put this mask on, it doesn't have the opposite. It has the total opposite effect to what it does to Jim Carrey. And it's at one point where Alison Hannigan says to him, "Have you thought that you might be the killer?" Nah, absolutely not. How can it be me? And then it starts. But it's just, you've got to go with it. It's just so good. So funny. I'd probably give this one a 6.5 out of 10. Is it rewatchable? Damn tootin' it is. Yeah, I'll be watching it again. Again, if you get that direct from Treasured Films, you get a free poster, double-sided poster. I don't know if they've still got the fridge magnets, but free postage as well. So that's You Might Be the Killer. This one was a weird one. This is the one I got in Edinburgh when I was with John. We got the same film, Scream and Scream Again. So this has got Vincent Price and Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing in it. Somebody pointed out that you don't actually see them in the same room, but there is a scene where Vincent Price and Christopher Lee are together. The bits with Peter Cushing, you only see him, like, as far as them three are concerned, he's on his own. You don't see him with them. I watched this a couple of weeks, but I can't remember much about it now. It was basically something like there was a serial killer in London, and it's like modern day, well, 60s modern day. And the killer is draining them of their blood. And it's so bizarre. It is bizarre. It's enjoyable, but it's just not the film I thought it was going to be. I think this was this an Amicus film? No, it's an American International. It's kind of like in that same vein, you know, as Hammer and Amicus, but it's an American international film. Not as good as a Hammer film. It's just so strange, but it's worth watching just because the three of them are in it. This is a 15. It's not great. It's not crap, but it's not great. It's just a bit odd, and it's just not what I thought it was going to be. I'll probably give this a 5.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'd watch it again in the future. Not for a canny while. I wouldn't watch it yet, but I'll definitely watch it again. So that's Scream and Scream again. Next up, this is a horror anthology. I watched this a few weeks ago. Deadtime Stories. You need to watch this. This is a really good one. I think there's 3 stories in it. It starts off with there's a kid in bed and his mum and dad are going out, and his uncle is babysitting him, and he wants his uncle to tell him these bedtime stories. So he starts reading out of a book, and I don't like this one. He starts, oh, what do you want? Make one up. So he tells him 3 stories, like all are quite sort of scary ones. And this little prick will not go to sleep. But it's entertaining, it's funny, definitely worth a watch. This is the Scream Factory release. On that photo there, he looks a little bit like the kid out of Child's Play, but it's not him. I can't remember who's in this. I don't think it's a hugely famous cast. Scott Valentine and Melissa Leo. Yeah, right. The synopsis on here says, your favourite nightmares come to life in salute to the age-old bedtime story ritual. Travel on a mysterious journey to a medieval world populated by blood-crazed witches, evil experiments and captive maidens. Then from the catacombs and dark caverns of medieval Europe, you'll plunge into modern suburbia and the adventures of a female jogger stalked by a savage werewolf. Finally, sensuality will become macabre, black comedy who follow the trail of 3 bank robbers who share their country house hideaway with a sweet murderess. Now, I can't think of that last one, but I do remember that first one now, the witch one. Somebody plays one of the witches. I think she's English. What an ugly bitch. Woo! But yeah, don't pay a lot for it, but if you can get it, it is worth a go. You don't get a slip. It's not a collector's edition, so it's just a Scream Factory bog standard edition. I've seen it before, but I watched it again because I couldn't remember much about it. So that was my second watch. So that was Deadtime Stories. Next up, this is an 88 films, and this is one of the, I think it's one of the Tygon ones. Is it Tygon it's called? Yeah. The Beast in the Cellar. Or, in this case, The Beast in the Corner. That I can't see anymore. There it is, it's on the wall. It's moved, it's down here. I'll have to pause. I got it. I shit me pants. Right, I took a photo of it before I introduced it to Mr. Shoe. This is it. And before I continue, before anybody starts with this, oh, poor thing, you shouldn't kill them bullshit, do you actually know what a phobia is? I am absolutely terrified by them. Oh, it won't hurt you. That's exactly the same as getting somebody who's afraid of heights, grabbing all of them by the ankles and dangling them over a cliff and going, look at that down there, and they're screaming, what a beautiful view. It won't hurt you. So don't give me that shit about you shouldn't be killing them. I don't get no pleasure out of it. But if that had lived when I went to bed, I'd have probably either slept in the car or been awake all night. So, oh God, the relief is unbelievable. Right. The Beast in the Cellar. I can stop looking up there now. It's gone. I do feel sorry for it, though. Honestly, I get no pleasure out of it, but it is absolute sheer terror. The Beast in the Cellar for the 5th time. Right. I did enjoy this, but not as much as what I thought I was going to, because, again, this was not the film I was expecting. I was expecting... Well, I don't know what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like an old Hammer film, like starting like a proper Hammer film, and then kind of some sort of a kind of a werewolf or something, or something chained up down there, and it kept getting people. It wasn't like that at all. It was strange. Beryl Reid and this woman here, I can't remember that actress's name. She's a famous actress in her own right. Flora Robson. They're sisters. And this nurse comes on to care for one of them. It's Tessa Wyatt out of Robin's Nest, and she's really, really attractive in this. And this soldier, he keeps coming round to see if these are all right. Yeah, and she goes and puts this weird army uniform on every now and again. You're wondering why. You do find out, but yeah, it's a strange one. It is a strange one. There obviously is something in the cellar, but you don't really find out till the end, and it was a little bit lackluster. I'd watch it again, definitely. Not yet. But that's one of those films I've heard about for donkey's years, and I've heard people say, "Oh, what a cracking film!" It's not a cracking film. It's all right. It's nothing special. If you're going to get this, maybe get it in. I got it in the 2 for 15. That's all right if you can get it for that. So that's The Beast in the Cellar, which I'd probably give a 4.5 or a 5 out of 10 for. Then I watched another weird one I've never seen before. Peter Cushing. I was like, "What? You can't go wrong with Peter Cushing." Shockwaves. This is batshit. The amount of people who've said to me that this film's amazing and they love it. Oh, what a cracking film. It's all right. It's just weird. I found it very slow and very dull. These zombies coming out the water like this. And they're like, obviously from an old German submarine or something from the war. And you know they are. You can just tell by looking. I'm not spoiling anything, but Jesus. Beneath the living, beyond the dead, from the depths of hell's ocean, in the dark days of World War II, the Nazi High Command ordered its scientists to create a top-secret race of indestructible zombie stormtroopers. Based on a true story, then. Unliving, unfeeling, unstoppable monstrosities that killed with their bare hands. They were known as the Death Corps. No member of this horrific SS unit was ever captured by the Allied forces, and somewhere off the coast of Florida they have survived. Peter Cushing, Brooke Adams, and John Carradine star in this suspenseful and genuinely creepy shocker, co-written and directed by Ken Wiederhorn, who did Return of the Living Dead Part 2. He also did another film that I think I'm going to show you. And it's an absolute cracker. I could be wrong, like, did he do it? Yes, he did. In fact, the film I'm going to talk to you about, that he directed, this is playing on the telly in the background in the film. And I still didn't put 2 and 2 together. This was originally released in the States by Blue Underground. Now, they've put Blue Underground there, so they must be in cahoots. It must be like the same transfer or something. I wasn't a great fan of this. However, I think I'd probably keep this one because I like it's an 88 film. It's a nice set. Now, I would watch it again in a few years. I'd give it another go. That's the artwork that I know. And I always thought, once I seen this artwork, that it was a video nasty. It's about as nasty as a chocolate digestive. It's only a 12. Yeah, didn't tickle my fancy, but yeah, I've seen worse. 3.5, 4 out of 10. Shockwaves. Now this, I watched this one last night. Have seen this before twice. And this is one of the most underrated slasher films I think I've ever seen. And this was, again, directed by Ken Wiederhorn. Hang on. Oh. This is genuinely scary, genuinely creepy. The guy in this, the killer, he's horrible. This was Jennifer Jason Leigh's first film, and it is called Eyes of a Stranger. This, again, is another Scream Factory release. I don't think you can get it over here, but it was on video over here, if I remember rightly, in the early 80s. This, it says 1981, but then it says copyright 1980, and it was Georgetown Productions who brought this out, who made the original Friday the 13th, which I think was obviously in the same year, 1980. There was a little bit of controversy during the making of this, from what I can gather. Jennifer Jason Leigh plays this blind girl, and she's also mute. She can hear, but she can't see or speak. Now, there is a shot in this where I'm not going to go into it because you need to see this film. She does like a frontal, but it's only her top half you see. Now, at the time they filmed this, she was 17, which in the States is obviously, she's classed as a minor. And they said they had to wait, luckily for them, she turned 18 during the filming of this, so they had to wait until she was 18 before they filmed those scenes. Of course they waited. So as soon as she turned 18, they filmed the topless scenes. There's only one or two. But the fact that she did them, and if she was 17, then there would have been a big hoo-ha. But the storyline. I think, is it Lauren Tews, I think they call her, Tews. I've seen her before in loads of stuff. She was in a lot of 70s TV shows. That's her there. And look how young Jennifer Jason Leigh looks there. It does actually say introducing at the beginning of the film. And the picture disc is the same as the front artwork there. And it's a Scream Factory and Warner Brothers film. And it's got that lovely old red, black and white Warner Brothers logo at the front. So she is the older sister of Jennifer Jason Leigh. And when the Jennifer Jason Leigh character was a child, something very, very traumatic happened to her. I'll let you watch it. When it happened, I think she only looks about 9 or 10 year old. There's her and two other girls, and they're going from school. Two of them go in the house, and for some reason they say to her, "You'll have to wait out here." Kids are spiteful when they want to be, so they make her sit outside, and that's when something happens, and that's what causes her to be. She loses her sight, and she loses her ability to speak, and the specialist can't understand why she can't see or speak. But then there's a serial killer on the loose, and he's really brutal. It starts off he's killing women, but there's quite a gory scene where he decides not just to kill women. And she's a TV reporter. She works on a news program at this TV station. And she lives in this block of flats, or in the States, apartments. And there's one directly opposite her. And she sees this bloke parking in the parking lot where she is. And there's just something about she's watching him and she's hiding. And you see him change his shirt, which is stained. And she's thinking, that's weird. So she eventually gets his address and number, and she found the bloke on the phone who knows her. He said, "Oh yeah, if you look out your window, you should be looking directly opposite." He's in the opposite block of the flats from where she lives. So she gets his phone number and phones him. It is absolutely brutal in parts, and then right at the end, I'm watching the titles, and then it comes up. special effects by Tom Savini. I didn't know that. This is such an this really does have you on the edge of your seat. I didn't see it back in the day. I got this as a blind buy a couple of years back. Oh my God, I'm so glad I did. I don't think it's got a UK release. If you do want to get this Scream Factory on, please do bear in mind it is Region A locked. You will need a multi-region player. It's only an hour and a half, I think. 85 minutes. It doesn't even feel that long. I watched it last night with Laura, and it felt like it was on about an hour maximum. It's one of them films. Absolutely amazing film. I can't recommend this enough. I would give this 8.5 out of 10. Eyes of a Stranger. This next one was another first time watch. This is one of the ones that my very good friend Carlos gave me. Midnight Run. Now this is a Shout Factory one. Basically like Scream Factory. My God, what an entertaining film this is. I'd never seen it before. Robert De Niro is a cop, and he's sent to go hunt this fella down who's done some naughties, but he's not a bad fella. From what I remember, he did it because he had to, otherwise the mob would have done him in. So he was kind of working for like a mob sort of gang, and he had to do what he did to sort of save his life. But once he gets him, he's trying to get her to escape from him. This is done by the director who did Beverly Hills Cop, Martin Brest. That other actor, Robert De Niro, is it Charles Grodin they call him? I've never known his name, but I've seen him in stuff before. But for me, this was a very different film for Robert De Niro. I would definitely watch this again. Solid 7 out of 10. Yeah, I didn't like it as much as Beverly Hills Cop. But my God, this was so entertaining. What a cracking film it is. So that was Midnight Run. And the other one that Carlos got for me, I watched that one as well, which was 52 Pickup with Roy Scheider. Now, this was a cracking film. This was over 2 hours long, I think this one was. 110, no, 1 hour 50. He is married to Anne Margaret, but he's also, you find out he's knocking off this 20-odd-year-old lass, and it's Kelly Preston. John Travolta's wife, who sadly passed away with cancer, bless her. Such a bonny woman, such a young age to go as well. It was tragic. And the blackmailing him, they want money off him. This gang who've they kidnap Kelly Preston, and they want money. And they say, if you don't give us whatever it is, I think it's like to say 10,000. I think it was to begin with. We've got all this evidence, and they kidnap him, sit him down, and make him watch all this evidence where he's on holiday with Kelly Preston. He's got photos took with her. I think they have one where they're in the bedroom and she's like naked and he stood kissing her and stuff like that. And they say, if you don't tell us, we're going to tell your wife. And then they say, we don't want 10,000, right? We say, I'm sure they say they want 52 grand, but they don't just want it as a one-off, they want it once a year. So Roy Scheider is forced to tell his wife. And if you haven't seen it, the rest I will let you watch without spoiling it. But this is it's an excellent film. It's like a gripping sort of thriller type of thing. I really enjoyed it. Such a good film. Good 7 out of 10 for me, that one. That's 52 Pickup. This one, I got this really cheap. It was very, very reasonably priced. And Carlos actually told me to get this one, so he sent me a link for it. And I was like, I wonder if it had a slip. So I looked, and there we are. We have one with a slip for about £5. Ghost Stories. This is a British film. Cracking film as well. Actually, I really enjoyed it. The ending muddled me up a little bit. And then Laura told me how she thought it meant, like what it meant, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And I think she Googled it to find out, and it was right. And I was like, right, it makes sense now then. And as soon as I knew what the ending was, I was like, that was really clever. The guy who did The League of Gentlemen, Jeremy Dyson, and this guy called Andy Nyman, who also stars in it. They both wrote this, and I think they both directed it as well. Yes, they did. Now, this fella, if you watch out for him, if you've got that Video Nasties documentary I've been harping on about for you all to get, he's actually in this, in that. He's one of the ones sat talking. It's creepy as that. Paul Whitehouse is in it. Real serious acting, and he's fantastic. Martin Freeman's in it. And I think on the case, is it turned around? So yeah, the turn around, so it's like more like a dark art. But what a cracking film. I really enjoyed this. Again, a solid 7 out of 10. That's Ghost Stories. I gave up in the end, and I got these. I think I got these in the 2 for 15 because I've been wanting the American versions, because I've got all the other ones that I've got in this particular collection are all from America. But I thought, you know what, for that price, I'll just get it. And it's one of the Vestron Collector's Series. So this is the only English one I've got, and it's Blood Diner. And I'm pretty sure if you look on the American one, this one's number 1. And I've been dying to see this. And everybody's been saying to me, like, what a really good film it is. It's like, it's different, but you'll really enjoy it. What a pile of shit. Good God, it's terrible. I hated it. I might give it another go in a few years. It was just plain, absolutely fucking stupid. Did not like it at all. I kind of expected it to be a little bit like the episode of Tales from the Crypt where Christopher Lee and Beth Armstrong from Jaws 3 own this fish restaurant and they turn it into a steakhouse. I thought it was going to be something like that. There's not a patch on that. Watch that. That's how it should be done. This is utter cack. Directed by Jackie Kong. I think it was more probably directed by his brother King, because there's no... I don't know. It was just stupid. I will give it another go when I can be asked, and I'll keep it because it's one of the Vestron ones, and I never thought I would say this, but I'm so glad that I got this one cheap rather than buy the American one, because I would have been annoyed if I'd have paid a lot of money for it. From what I can remember, a 1 or a 2 out of 10. It is just so stupid. Over the 3 days, 3 days last week, I rewatched this. Hammer House of Horror. Now, if you see, you spotted in one of my other videos, I bought the 7-inch single of the theme to this. It's watching this again that prompted me to get it. I thought, I need to find it. I looked last time, and it was just so expensive, but you're seeing how much I got it for. Oh, I enjoyed it even more this time round. This is an amazing series. One of my favourite episodes is the one with Suzanne Danielle in. I love that one. Love the one with Peter Cushing in. Not keen on that because she gets right on my tits there. I love the Peter Cushing one. I've already said that, so I'm sounding like a parrot. And I love the first story, which is the one about the witch. This did come with a slipcover originally, but it's long gone. Gutted when I found out it had one and I didn't get one, but never mind. Because this is a network release, who, as you know, have gone out of print now. But this is one of my favourite network releases. There's this, the Michael Caine Jack the Ripper, and oh God, what's another one of the series I've got? I can't remember what it is. I've got quite a few, but yeah, these are two of my favourites. This and Jack the Ripper. This is amazing. Everyone's a different story. There's none of them where, you know, like continued in next one, so it's like it's another part. The House that Dripped Blood, that's another good one with Nicholas Ball. That's a good one. I don't actually think there's a bad one in it. That's a good one, the werewolf one. Dinah Dawes, she's in that one. So if you can get hold of this, if you haven't got it, I highly recommend this. I'm a House of Horror. 8.5 out of 10. Love it. Absolutely love it. And then I watched Frenzy on 4K, Alfred Hitchcock. This is such a disturbing film. It really is. I was over the moon to get this. Keith got me this one from the States because he guaranteed he could get me it with a slip. So thanks again for that one, Keith, if you're watching. Really appreciate it, mate. You can't get it over here anyway, I don't think, but I thought I want that slip. Same artwork. But again, this is about a serial killer who goes around strangling women with a tie. You find out early on who it is. It's obvious who it is. Who plays the guy? You do see Alfred Hitchcock do a little cameo at the beginning in the crowd as well. It starts off with this woman's body washing up on a beach. And it all starts from there. Some of the kills in this are really, really disturbing. There's one, you don't even see anything, but it turns your stomach. It did me. It was the feeling it gave me. It was like, you see the killer go up the stairs with a woman. You know what he's going to do, because you know by this point that who the killer is. Oh yeah, just come up here, I'll do this, and blah, 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 blah. And they go in the room and shut the door. Then the camera just backs away from the door and goes all the way down the stairs, backs out the house. And then you hear all the street happening, all the traffic, people walking past, and it just pans out away from the house. And it's basically letting you know that life is just going on as normal and people are totally oblivious to it, and you know that somebody in that house is getting murdered as you watch. It's awful, the feeling it gives you. And I think that's what Hitchcock was good at. It was making you feel like that without even particularly showing you anything. I was surprised that you did see some nudity in this. I didn't know Hitchcock did any films with nudity. It's mainly top half, but you do see a full frontal. And I was like, wow, I did not expect that. And you also see mouth to flesh on nipple, which I didn't expect. I was very shocked because I did not know. I mean, this came out in, was it 60s or 70s? So was it 70, 72 or 68 or something? It doesn't say on the bloody... 72. Now, Hitchcock, I don't know. Am I wrong? I haven't seen many of Hitchcock's films. What I've seen, I've loved. I've got this, Psycho, and Dial M for Murder, which I absolutely love, that film. I love watching it in 3D. There's not anything stands out. I just like to watch it in 3D because it's 3D Blu-ray. But I didn't know there was any nudity in Hitchcock stuff, so I was really, really shocked. But this definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat, and like there's some genuinely creepy moments in it. Another one of the main actors, I don't know his name. I don't know if is it John Finch, but he's in the opening scene. It starts in a bar, and you see him getting himself a drink, and he's got a moustache. That's him there, sat with there on the bench, but you can't see there. He looks just like Adam fucking Ant. And then he started singing like ant music to him through the screen. I thought he was going to stand up, put his stripe on and go, hey, shut up, you noisy bastard. He does look like Adam Ant. But yeah, I can't recommend this film enough. To me, this is a very underrated Hitchcock film, because every time people mention Hitchcock, they mention all the ones I've not seen. North by Northwest, The Birds, Vertigo. I haven't seen any of them, but they seem to be in like the top tier of people's favourites. This one doesn't get a mention, and it scares the shit out of you. It's genuinely creepy. This and Psycho are my favourite two Hitchcock films. Highly recommended. This is definitely an 8.5 out of 10. I watched Twister on 4K. I've done an unboxing for this, so I don't need to go and show you all the ins and outs of a fart. This film, I've always loved this film. I haven't watched it for years because I used to have it on Laserdisc, and the only upgrade I've ever had was DVD. I forgot how good this film was. I did see it at the cinema as well. It looks amazing. Such an entertaining film. It doesn't feel like it's on as long as it does. It looks beautiful on 4K. Absolutely beautiful. I was talking to Keith about it, and he said that there's people actually complaining that when the storm's going to start, the sky is green, and it is. And the moon, well, it wasn't like that originally; it was grey. But you hear Bill Paxton say something about go green. And originally, I think you meant to think people thought that when go green, let's go and find it. Apparently, when a twister is going to kick in, the sky does turn green, so they can't have had the technology back then, but now on the 4K they can. So the sky's the correct colour. So all yous are moaning about it. You're wrong. And it looks beautiful. It really does. It's a fantastic film. I love this. This has made me want to watch Twisters now. It's not going to be as good. I know it's not. Because this, to me, is an absolute classic. And I love it. I could watch this. It's one of them I could watch this anytime. And it's a bit of a comforter as well as being an excellent film. So that's Twister. And it's definitely worth, if you've got DVD or Blu-ray, it's definitely worth upgrading to 4K. And then I watched, for the second time, the 4K of The Hitcher. I watched this with Laura because she's not seen it for years and she hadn't seen the 4K as well. What can I say about this? What a film. The 4K is absolutely outstanding. The picture quality is amazing, and the film itself, it blew me away again. It does me every time I watch it. I used to watch this regularly in the 80s when I had it on VHS tape. I did upgrade to DVD and I only watched it once or twice, I think. I don't know where it is, but when I do eventually come across it, I will dig it out because I've been told there's some extras on there that are different to this. I've not watched any extras on this yet because I was just too impressed with the film, but I will do. But if you haven't got this, I don't need to tell you anything about this. You either know or you don't. But you need to get it. Even if you don't want this big box set, get the bog standard one or the Blu-ray because they've released it on Blu-ray as well. This film is absolutely brilliant. This for me is a 10 out of 10. I love it. That's The Hitcher. And then I watched these two films back to back, and I've never done that before. On 4K, I watched It, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. This is that lovely steel slip box. Two steel books, two posters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs. If you've never watched both of these back to back, do it. I highly recommend it. Make the time. It's amazing to watch this as all one film. I've never ever showed the insides of this. I don't know if anybody would be interested in that. If you want to leave a comment, if you want to see it, I'll do a full sort of show of this box set because it is gorgeous. I don't need to say anything about this really because I think half the world and their sons have seen both of these films. They're just absolutely amazing. I love them. And my God, what an amazing experience it was to watch chapters 1 and 2 back to back. I could quite easily watch these again now. I enjoyed them that much. So that is It, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. If you want to see the full contents of this, if you let me know, I'll go around it in a separate video and show you it. And finally, I watched this on 4K. Which is the almighty A Nightmare on Elm Street, and my God, it looks stunning. It is amazing, this film. I love it. It's the best one of the lot. This is when Freddy was creepy, scary, and he wasn't a wise cracking arsehole of a stand-up comedian. It doesn't need, again, no talking about. Everybody knows the film. Son of a bitch comes after you in your dreams. If you want to know how that happened, you need to watch the film if you haven't. Notice how Freddy stood there with his glove out. People have said that's from Elm Street 4. It isn't. It's Elm Street 3. Because there's the wall. It's when he's gone to him in the wheelchair. And the third one, it's back in the saddle again. It's that corridor. God knows what that is. But as you've probably seen all the unboxings now, you do get the original US artwork on the steelbook, which is stunning. This is one hell of a collector's set from Warner Brothers. It's one of my favourite ones. It's gorgeous. I love everything about it. I love this. The old Warner logo and Warner Home Video as well. They don't even call them Warner Home Video anymore now. They are called Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. Glad I got this as well. But the 4K of this is absolutely beautiful. If you're hearing anybody say it's average or it's not this, don't listen to them. I didn't get any Blu-ray of this because I was disgusted at the release. So I've only been watching the US New Line Platinum Collection Blu-ray box set, a DVD box set. And that's always looked really good for a DVD. It's looked excellent. So I thought, this is the definitive version, and until a different version comes out, worth getting. That'll do me. They released a Blu-ray of A Nightmare on Elm Street, bog standard thing, shitty artwork. This come out, decent artwork, 4K, both versions of the film. There is an uncut version on here on the 4K. It's literally 9 seconds longer. I think it's Glenn and Tina. That's all I'll say. Now, somebody has asked me, do you get the uncut version on the Blu-ray? I haven't had a chance to check yet, but I'm 99% certain you don't. Because it says here, 4K Ultra HD, Ultimate Collector's Edition, special features. And the first thing it says includes both the theatrical and the uncut versions. Now, if you look as well, if this was an upgraded Blu-ray, you would have thought that they would have made the font the same like that. Whereas that's got the original font for that, and that's like the remake. Now on the disc, it does say where is it? Oh, it doesn't have the date on the disc. It just says 1984. On the Blu-ray, does it say anything different? No, it doesn't. Now, we were told that this was getting downgraded to a 15, and it hasn't. It's at 18. I think it must be for cinema release. But the person who asked me about if you get the uncut one on the Blu-ray as well, you know you are. I'm going to check when I've done this video, and I'll let you know, mate, for definite. But I'm pretty sure it's only on the 4K. I think this isn't a nag or anything, but I think it shocks me now that in this day and age, because there's less of us, the people who collect these films on disc physical media collectors, or whatever you want to call yourselves, not everybody has either upgraded to 4K, which is fair enough, but if you don't want to upgrade to 4K, at least get yourself region free. Then you don't have to worry. You can buy anything you want all over the world. Don't have to worry about it. And you might think, yeah, but it's like 200 quid for a player. It pays for itself because the films that you can get, basically the world's your oyster. You're not stuck to region B or UK. You can get anything you want. And if you do get up to region 3 4K as well, then when they do fuck up and region lock a 4K like they did the people under the stairs, you're covered with that. You can still watch it because your play is region 3. I really do strongly, highly recommend you to upgrade to 4K, but if not, for me it's a must. You must get yourself on region 3. You're missing out big time on stuff, you really are. I know quite a few people who've got the Friday the 13th box set and they can't watch it because they don't have region 3. Trust me, it's worth getting for that set alone. But this looks phenomenal. I think this is probably going to be another 10 out of 10 for me. Brilliant film, and this is a brilliant addition. Wes Craven and Nightmare on Elm Street. So there you go. That's some of the stuff I've watched the past month or two. There's probably been more, but I just thought I'd grab a handful because it's been such a long time since I've done anything like that. Nightmare on Elm Street. I've just put it on. And the Blu-ray in the 4K set is definitely the theatrical cut only. You don't get the uncut version on the Blu-ray. I went to the bit where Tina gets it. I can't say any more without if you've never seen it. And there's a bit where when she falls onto the bed, you see the blood splash onto her boyfriend's face. In the uncut one, as she hits the bed, there's a blood splash out from the bed. Then it goes to the boyfriend. It's literally a split second. There's only 9 seconds difference between the uncut one and the theatrical. That blood one, I had to watch them, that blood splash, I had to watch them both together to see it. I think the other bit is Glenn. I think it might show you a bit more blood hitting the ceiling. I don't know why there's 9 seconds longer. I don't know, because I can't account for 9 seconds. But there you go. It's not that different if that's any use to you. However, I didn't realise until I put the Blu-ray on, because people have said there's not much in it. All there is. It's night and day. The 4K looks absolutely spectacular. It makes the Blu-ray look shit. And I've only just looked at the Blu-ray for the first time. The colours and the sharpness and the detail you can see on that 4K is absolutely phenomenal. There's a bit where he goes with the glove like, "This is God." And it is all dark. And it is on the 4K, but you can still like make out his features. You can see so much more detail of Freddy's face in all scenes. It's phenomenal. So yeah, 4K for me any day. And this is why it's worth upgrading if you ever get the chance to. So yeah, really sorry everybody who's been waiting, or if anybody else apart from the guy who I'm actually talking to, if anybody else has been waiting to know, does the uncut one feature on the Blu-ray? No, it doesn't. And it looks like it is the old Blu-ray. It's not like that 4K upscan. Upscan? What a bell end! Upscale to like a 4K master onto Blu-ray. You can tell the difference. It's miles better. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, all 2 of you. I do hope you enjoyed my endless waffle, or if you've watched the first 5 minutes and buggered off, which I know a lot of people do, so the rest of it I'm just talking to myself, but it's there. People have wanted me to review stuff. There you go. All done. Thank you much. Thank you much. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much for your subscription. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you very soon on the next video. And until then, y'all take care of yourselves. Ta-ta.